is they are going, in fact, they need to be queried on this table. All of you are just making too much noise. Okay, we're back. So, let me start with Obiajulu on this matter, because Nima was saying that it's a different issue Waike was saying. I'm saying that this issue of knowing before you enter is what leads to a situation where you get into somewhere, and even though you're not getting satisfied, you now realize that you're not being satisfied. You didn't realize this man cannot take you to Jerusalem. By being your colleague, or maybe going to the gym, for example, and you have a personal trainer who is helping you to your leg, pushing you, all those kind of things can get you to the point where you're, oh my goodness, I can actually get to Jerusalem. Or it's not a recurring. No, or you have a colleague in the office and you're making coffee together and you're always just saying, oh, can you go talk? My husband that is it's a 10 power horse. Those conversations that put you in trouble. Nima allow her to finish. 100 power horse. It's not about that conversation. You're just having a normal conversation, regular work things, and you really see that you're connecting with this person. And just being in the person's presence, everything in your body lights up.
Should you not step back when you see that you're
Hold on first now. See, let's not be should you not step back? As a woman that has let us establish that the feeling can happen. Right. Now, what you do with the feeling, so, you know, initially when you were talking, is like the feeling is a sin. It shouldn't even happen. It's a sin. It can happen because we're human beings. And I'm trying to be realistic now. I'm trying to be realistic here. Now, when the feeling happens, what you do next is where people would hold you accountable. Did you pursue it or did you not? But to sit down and say the feeling doesn't happen, you should not allow it to happen, we're deceiving ourselves.
Now, let me add to that. Okay. So there is this Sister Mary who doesn't know she's even missing anything, and because of that, she can easily step back. But there's the Sister Josephine, who has probably Josephine before. She was Josephine before, right? She now gave her life to Christ. So she has tasted, she has an idea what it is. She now enters.
I'm meeting this person triggers some things she has felt before.
Women are different. We never know.
To add to that, there is a Sister Gladys who has not done it before, but sometimes when the husband does nonsense, like going 3 minutes or 2 minutes and sleeping off and does not satisfy her, she feels there is something missing.
Yes, because it's a natural instinct.
It is
because let us not say not say that women do not have
those feelings. No.
Because when we deceive ourselves that women do not have urges, that is when we enter jail.
Okay, let us
think about it right now.
While you get your response ready, let me take this call. Let me pause for a second. I'll be calling for a while. Abuja, you're live. Yeah, I'm live.
Okay.
Good morning, sir, from Abuja. Go ahead, Ola.
All right, let me quickly give you my own experience.
Please.
And then I'll also give you solutions. I'll also make suggestions for solutions. I'll give advice. Now, I have 2 experiences with 2 ladies, one abroad, one in Nigeria. Now, these 2 ladies, are you people aware of what we call DFE?
DFE.
No.
Delayed female ejaculation. Are you aware of that?
Delayed. Okay. Go ahead.
Ejaculation.
Okay, right. Educate us.
Now, this lady, if you spend 2 hours as a man having sex with them, they will never reach orgasm. It's a medical condition. If you speak to a doctor, they will tell you it is called DFE.
Okay.
So in those relationships, I have to walk away.
Okay.
The only solution I had was to book appointments with doctors to help the lady.
So, Ola, in that kind of situation, would you have preferred to know before marriage
or not,
so that we know who needs help in getting treated for this condition?
Now, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
For me, I'm religious, I'm a spiritual
person.
Ola, I think we're losing him. Hello?
I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. You're spiritual.
Okay, now, for me, I would personally, before I got married, I made up my mind. I will never take you to the altar without testing it.
Okay, why is
that's
that?
For me. But for the religious people, you can go for medical, evaluation of both partners. If you don't want to do it before marriage, go for medical evaluation to test yourself whether you are okay sexually or
Okay,
not.
all right.
It is possible.
Thank you very much, Ola. I know if people have done that before and something still happens. But well,
I wanted to answer.
It says what he's talking about is called anorgasmia.
okay, go ahead.
So I wanted to respond to Auntie Ellie that in Islam, girls and boys, sexual urge starts from puberty.
Yes.
So is it from puberty you start with testing?
No.
So we're taught from that early age to put on guard that part of you. You are raised to be able to guard it. I might sit by someone today, a man, because of the kind of job I do now, and I know that I must be on guard.
Right.
If the person crosses certain lines, I know.
Correct.
If you send me a kind of message, I don't want to test. I can't be in anger with my husband and be smiling to a colleague.
Correct.
Why are you the one bringing that? It's those boundaries that you fail to put on ground that turn something upside down.
Bam.
Now, that sexual urge that you have is supposed to be met in marriage. It is a ground norm in marriage.
But in a situation where it was met before, where
before, there's no provision for before.
Sister Josephine,
So before,
who had done before,
now
became
she,
very
she now
pious.
got married.
Yeah, no,
right?
she now gave her life to Christ.
Right.
And said, I won't do again. And then she now enters and I realize this person,
And she has a
now
standard.
2 minutes person, now 2 minutes
Now
person.
she can be divorcing till she finds
Wait, now let Dr.
No. Abi.
She can
She
also
can
find
be
it
divorced
in the
allowed
next
outside
one.
marriage.
She can also find it in the next one.
Is there not a part where husband and wives will help themselves in a marriage, where you know that you have the shortcoming? Yes.
What if your husband is a homosexual?
That's a
different
different
one.
matter.
That's for
So
all.
you are touching
What if it's
another
divorce?
one.
That's a
So let's
different
even
matter.
talk
Why
about
can
this
just
sex
keep
because you
expanding
know
branches?
we sound as if
Yeah,
if
I like
anything
that.
goes wrong, then the next thing is for you to jump on the next guy
Yeah.
or the next man that compliments you. Or whatever. No, talk about it. You need to talk about it. That's where intimacy comes from.
Yeah.
Sex starts before you even start the main thing.
Right,
You're
we
feeling
like
me?
it.
We know.
Right,
We know.
it's down.
Before now, so talk about
men don't
it.
know that.
Nigerian men,
No, they do.
Are we not married to Nigerian men?
I know
Are
that.
we not married to
Many
Nigerian
Nigerian
men?
men
I've
know.
not seen an Igbo man before in my life. Nigerian men know.
Couples shy away from talking about it.
How do you know?
No.
It's not because your husband knew.
Thank God.
Just because your husband
Thank God. Let me
No,
because I cannot become
Good
somebody.
morning. Thanks for calling. Ikoyi. Oh, Sukomi, I'm so sorry for Sukomi. Hello? Sukomi, you're live. Go ahead, please. Morning.
Yeah. But when you spoke then, I just found this is Kenya. I greet you all. I greet you all.
Thank you.
Well, this is a very sensitive issue. But what I see coming from my own experience, I think you are let me say, I'll say our ladies, you need to start helping us, the men, in that regard. Because I think, okay, let me tell you my little story. I think I was in a date then. I'm a Muslim, fully now. But then when I was in the world, I was with a mature lady, and I took her on a journey. We understand and I discovered, it has always been. And I just left her, when we were on the journey, and I left her at the middle, I just felt I'm there. And everything is okay. But it took her a very, it took her, she had to let me know. She just passed the message.
It's not very
And we
clear
are
in the
not there.
studio, Sukomi. I'm so sorry. I can't hear you.
Hello?
I'm finding it difficult to hear you. Maybe our viewers can hear you at home, though. Hello, Sukomi.
So tweets have scattered this.
Okay, go ahead. Let me take it.
Tweets are scattering us now. William says, I can't buy shoe without wearing it, even though I know my size. Ebo Dahir says, I've stayed off relationship for years, and the moment I gave it a try, all guys were demanding for sex. I just feel like there's no relationship without sex for now. Premarital sex isn't good and it shouldn't be promoted. Somebody now says, there's a difference between lovemaking and having sex. So.
That's another conversation.
So how many prostitutes have had orgasm?
Let me bring in this angle, guys. Let me bring this angle. Because I don't want us to...
September production says...
I don't want us to trivialize this issue too much.
Right.
The reason why I don't want to trivialize is because there are marriages that are breaking up right now because of these things.
Yes.
And I like where the was taking us as regards conversation. Many people can't have that conversation.
They can't have the
Thank
conversation.
God we are in marriages where we can have a conversation with our spouses. But me, your menopause matter is happening. Sorry.
It's everybody. All of us are sweating.
We're all sweating.
Yes, no, yes, inside.
Okay, like has passed. She's not
MD mama, no, yes,
I thought it was
Don't mind
your
that.
Anyways,
Okay, has already passed.
so the reason I didn't want us to trivialize is because there are women or there are people in the marriages right now and they are hurt because they are unable to have that conversation.
Exactly.
Not everybody has that. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this thing. And the man will listen, or the woman. There are some crazy people that they choose. Their ego will not allow them to settle down to have a conversation. So those women are suffering in silence.
Yeah. I like the fact that you mentioned the ego here. It's very difficult for a woman. I've coached a few people in relationships, and they find it difficult to explain to the man what their needs are.
Yeah.
Because the question will be, how did you know now? Where have you gone? What have you done? We have been together for 2 years. You never complained about this. This is the first time I'm hearing it. I've been with 17 women. I've not heard this. Why are you the one spotting it? So it brings up another
conversation.
As far as even breaking the relationship. And so they want to play safe because they don't want their husband to start suspecting this and that. I coach these things now. I was supposed to be a sex coach.
Yes.
I was supposed to niche as a sex coach, but my husband said, no, please, I don't want anybody to be looking at you and seeing sex. Pick something else, and that's why I moved to personal development, right? So I meet people and I interface with them when it comes to this, and I hear all of this. So we cannot assume that because we are raised disciplined enough to check some things from the beginning that every other woman is like that. No, we must give room for other women who are not like that. We can only advise and say, there's a way you can show up yourself. There's a way you can protect yourself.
Absolutely.
There's a way you can. Some of these women don't even want to protect themselves. They have been protecting themselves and their marriages for several years, and they're like, I'm done. I can't just be in this relationship, and I'm not getting anything out of it. You just enter and plug and play, and you go. And then you people hang out, and you be making all the noise that I deliver, I break leg, I do this, I do that, and it's not working for us. Some can have that conversation. So the best thing is, if you notice, we started from premarital sex, but now we're moving into marriage. If you now get to that point where you cannot talk, seek a therapist. Maybe your husband will listen to the therapist.
And they always listen to the therapist.
Not all.
Which men are you talking about?
Which men are they?
Nigerian men.
No.
When they finally get
No. I've had, they listen.
When they finally get,
yes, they do. They listen. So I've had issues, like you rightly said, I also do some marriage counseling. So from experience of, talking to a couple of couples, some men will request for a therapist, a counselor, would even request for an older person, an elderly person, because they are willing to do it. So they know that when they get, at least they'll be themselves when the person is a lot older than them, older than their wives, and they're more comfortable talking about the issues. Forget about ego. Which man does not want to be helped? I know that the ego is a strong thing, but they also want to be helped.
Okay,
it's not only men that have problems. There are some women too that just like that like logo.
Thank you. Why take step from the conversation?
Now you're talking.
I want to ask
how you're talking.
See, let me take David from Abuja. Good morning, David from Abuja. You're live. See?
Sorry,
it's not us, it's there.
So a woman will now lie down as a log and say she has not reached orgasm. It's a two-way street.
The women that lie down as logs, listen, the women that lie down as logs, they don't have orgasm.
And you don't even know what to expect.
They don't understand it.
What will you do?
I didn't get the question, sorry.
If you don't know what to expect, as a young girl, my menopause.
Menopause is worrying all of you on that side today.
So, as a young girl, you're having the conversation now, you've met someone who wants to marry you, and you're having that conversation. What will you say when you don't know what to expect? It is while you're married that you can say, I didn't get here, I got here. I read so many books getting married. I asked all my aunties how it will be.
Exactly.
One said it's sweet bitter. I carry sweet bitter. I wrote inside my diary, waiting for sweet bitter. And waited. I didn't know what to expect. When the conversation happened and my husband was asking, I looked like that. I didn't know what to expect. Fast forward, that my auntie is in menopause. And she's going through so many phases in her 50s. And sexual urge became something. For some people, it drops, bam. For some people, it increases, bam. So are you going to finish that conversation in premarital stage?
Exactly.
Okay.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Let me take Felix from Port Harcourt. Good point.
Things change.
Yeah.
You can have a child today and you lose your
from
sexual
Port Harcourt,
urge.
you're live. Thanks for calling.
You go come back.
No fear about
Morning. Go ahead, please. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Women are not calling yet.
Greetings, you all.
Yes.
Yeah, well, this topic is a very complex topic because people have different views to this topic.
Yeah.
We're talking of the main topic is premarital sex before going to marriage proper.
Correct.
And that premarital sex, I think it is important to have a premarital sex because some men are impotent. Let me just go straight to the point. Some men are impotent, and if you don't have premarital sex, you go into the marriage, you have problems, and it's difficult for you to solve such problems. Some could be spiritual, some could be any which way. So that is why you need to have an intimacy before going to marriage, so that already you know your spouse, the person you want to settle down with. When you're into the marriage, you can discuss things with them. Let me give you an experience. There are a girl and a boy who got into marriage. The lady was a virgin, and they got into marriage. While they were in the marriage, the man was not being satisfied enough because he knew this lady as being a virgin and naive girl. Okay, with time, he began to expose this girl to some pictures, videos, and all that and everything. It took them 2 years for the lady to say, why didn't you tell me this all the while? You've been growing up, and I told you I don't like this. I'm a jealous lover. Why you have told me all this while? So they got to understand this because they talked about it. They got to understand the steps. And the man loves this lady more than before because they understand themselves. The man no more go out because the lady was able to please the man the way he wanted. In fact, even please the man more than the outsiders. And also, we should also know that there's what we call, we are in this part of the world, we are brought up to have self-control. So that is why there is premarital sex intimacy before marriage. Because when you get into the marriage, self-control majorly comes.
Thank you, Felix.
So that you don't look out and
Okay.
Felix, can I ask you a question?
Sex control.
Felix,
Okay.
you know you can be intimate without having premarital sex. You can be intimate and you can find out if it's you are working or not working.
If it's active or not. You know, some are liars. You can't conclude on that. Some are liars. Some they will tell you because of the fact that they want to settle down with you, they will want to say, I'm good. Look at pastors, look at some churchgoers. They might say, okay, no, I'm all good, I'm all that, I'm everything. They will pretend to the end.
Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. I wanted us to address an issue because Dr. raised something I feel that I would like us to discuss it further. That men are willing to solve this kind of problem. Because from us hosting this show for like over 10 years now, we've seen one of the issues that we have is that men don't even want to, they don't with this matter, they don't like to bring it up with a professional, with a therapist, with a pastor. This is one thing that every other thing, finance, I can go for a clinical, but this matter, this other room matter. Please, let anybody knock on now, get into my business. So I think, how do we help situations where the men, maybe the few men that Dodger know are willing, but those men that are not willing, how do we get them to the point where they are willing to ask for help? YK.
Conversation from who?
That's the person that
Don't worry,
How do we get
Why is it me asking?
the ones that don't want to
let her
have
answer now.
you know,
Many men don't want to talk about this matter. I'm surprised that
don't. I don't think exactly. It's not right to generalize, Mariah. Have you started the conversation? You know, there's always an approach to things. Let's not take away the ego bit or part of the men, but there's an approach. There's always an approach. You see, one of the major reasons why some marriages have problems, one of it is communication. Lack of communication, proper communication. The second is sex that we're talking about. You know, if you can merge the two together, communicate, whilst you're trying to improve the sex or in the intimacy between both of you, I think there'll be a little bit of a level ground.
Patience.
Yeah, so I don't want us to generalize and say men don't want to talk about it. Not all men. Have you tried to broker a conversation? Have you tried to bring it up? And again, in what way? How do you want to talk about it? Are you going to say, hey, so you know, the way you did it yesterday, I'm not happy about it. Or you just find a way.
Let me use myself as an example.
Yeah.
You see, my husband, there are maybe some things that we have and discussions, and I'll say, okay, when we have an issue, personal issue, and I'd say, okay, Brown, let's talk about it. Because I expect that, just like you said, let's have that night. I'll find the best time in a good mood.
Yep.
just like we were taught in marriage counseling. If I start this matter with Brown, the first sentence that he doesn't want, he flips 360.
With the sentence that he doesn't want.
No, hear me. I use that technique. That technique. So, for example, now, maybe Brown says, I don't like this hair. Right? And I feel like, let me find the best time. He's in a good mood. He just finished eating pounded yam. He's smiling. He's laughing. And I want him to get me this hair. And I said, Brown, so that hair I was telling you about, he flips.
Right.
What? I told you I don't like that hair. And that, nice, you think that you get this. So that story is not all men that it happens to.
But we have learned.
All men. So let's not assume that, because they'll tell you during counseling, after you've done the other room something, when you are not happy, rub the stomach. Now, so that one
don't be rubbing
so we just jump off the bed. Then we just jump off the bed. Don't start
No, but not sex. But I want to say, Brown will flip where it comes to sex.
Hold on.
Hold on.
He can flip if he wants to flip, but it's not all men that you say is when he's in the right mood, you have a conversation. For some men, method or personal method. For some men, this conversation, I want to have it. Okay, we are not having it. Okay, we are not talking. Okay, I'm no longer cooking, I'm not in the mood to play.
Different methods,
Okay, by the time you are important enough you will pay me that attention. I will tell you what I want to tell you. I'm not going to compel you, an adult, to do what I want. I will tell you, I want it. It's not pleasing me that we are not having that conversation, or we're not doing that thing. I rest my case. Yeah. You can process it for 1 year and think, okay, now I want to make my wife happy and do that one thing. But I would have expressed myself. I will express myself.
Yes.
You will know that that thing, I want it.
Yes.
Sometimes, if you, with my husband, if you like, cook the food that they say to the man's heart is a kinikon, you are wasting your time. If you like, do it turn upside down, 360, what he will not do, he won't do. But that you will not now say your own. It's your fault. So you will find a way to express.
So the thing is, I have a friend who, when we were telling us about this, find a good time to talk to the person and say, BC, she called me. As I say, BC, it does not work in my relationship. I said, please give me your story. She says that it's when the man is, I don't want to have this, and she flips. She gives it back to him that, no, we must have
pressure for pressure.
Yes, that is when the man
so everybody has their own method.
They have their own method. Different strokes.
So you must find what works for you.
What works for you.
But I wanted to talk about
even dog,
wiring.
Dog have different character. How much for human being? Common dog and cat, they have different character. Human being have different character. You can't write one book for all.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the wiring of women. Why sometimes it seems like these men don't want to have this conversation, especially when it comes to intimacy and sex. Women have been raised to just receive without questioning. So part of your job as a wife, or as a babe, is to manage the ego of the man. So you know that this is just plug and play, but you don't want to break his heart by raising the conversation. You don't want to hurt him. You are afraid of how he would take it, how he will feel. And that's why you see men who have these issues, who they have dated like 500 women. None have told them that they have this. So the first day they hear it, the shock.
Yeah. That's a real issue.
Yes, right. But there was Josephine did not tell me. Gladys did not tell me.
Right.
That one did not tell me. Yeah. Where you manufacture, it becomes another. So you have to first solve the layer of the problem.
Correct.
So there was one thing I wanted to change in the relationship when we started. I wanted something new. And, girls will talk about it when we are together. I've read about it. I wanted to experience it. I hadn't experienced it at the time. And I told Oga, I was like, there's this, there's a way we can. The first thing I heard is,
Where did they get that from?
I have known you, he now calculated, I have known you for how many years? The first time we raised this conversation, you told me, no, you don't like it. At what point did you start liking it? We now left, wait. This is the reality of many women. Right, that's why they don't even want to have the conversation. Yeah. We now left what I said, though, and started dealing with another issue. We had to go back and forth, me proving and explaining, and before it now dawned on him that, okay, let's give this a try. But I had to. How many women are, and some men are very, when it comes to this matter, they are very
close-minded.
Yeah. That would have been the end. So you have gone somewhere now, they have touched you in that way, and that's what you want. They label you immediately. Right. How many men are willing to humble themselves and listen to their wives? We need to ask that.
So we need to talk to the men.
Because a lot of them don't. Yeah. So you can think you want to raise this conversation. Once it means to me,
let me take
the question.
I can imagine what you are talking about.
Let me take Yakub.
I don't even see the story with the
Okay. I 63.
Okay, mind don't work out.
Imagine
She's here, but her mind. Okay, your mind is in like.
Mr. Yaku from Dokpemu, you're live. Don't mind all these people.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a very, very important topic tomorrow. And then before I go on, I have a request. My request is this, Mario, especially to you. That yesterday's program, I would like you guys to do the follow-up. I tried to call in yesterday, I couldn't. But please, try to follow up that case. It's very, very important. Now, I was saying this, Mario, this very particular topic is, as I said earlier, it's very, very important. Islamically, and then by extension, religiously, it is not allowed to do this thing premarital sex. But, Mario, quote and unquote, this thing is very, very important. Very, very important. I have an experience, which I think I will share in a few minutes now. Mario, there's a lady in my area here. I can tell you categorically, her husband is so rich, Sister Yeni, her husband, so rich man. But this woman in question, he dare not question her husband in terms of the other rooms. The man gives everything that you can think of. Are you getting it now?
Yeah.
But this very particular thing, it has been a problem. Even the woman asked her husband to follow her to a medical place. The man said, how dare you telling me to follow you CTV? If this is not okay, by please. And but the woman was looking at the children and other things that was getting the marriage. She couldn't leave. But you know what this very particular woman I'm talking about, very pretty woman indeed. The woman approached me, Morayo. Hey, this thing I'm about to say struck me that very particular day. The woman said, Elijah, I want to see you. I was thought maybe you want to buy or something in my place. She said that she need a guy. I was struck. I look. I said, wow, what is going on here? I said, I pretend as if I didn't heard what she said. I said, what did you say? She said she need a guy. I said, okay. Why did you say this? She said she has been in this marriage for the past 12 years, producing children without enjoying the other room. And then this thing is killing her. I said, okay, you know what? I have a solution for you. I have something to give you. But the only problem I have now is that where will you tell your husband you get this thing from? He said I shouldn't bother myself, that I should leave that side. All what he needs, she wants solutions. To cut the story short, Morayo, I give this woman something that she should take home.
What's the something?
And then the following day,
you slept with her? No. What is it coming?
Hello?
Let him finish.
Can you hear me?
What did you give the woman?
I don't want to mention it. We are here. We are here. I don't want to mention it.
Please. He does not understand.
Me, I don't understand.
YK,
let him finish the story now.
What did you give the woman? Yakub, you have to say what you gave the woman. No?
What did you give the
YK thinks that you slept with her. Me, I know you do not.
Let me finish, please. Because of the time. Please, let me finish this story, please.
Please.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Morayo. So the following day, this woman took this into her home. And then the following day, do you know what I saw? The husband of this woman came to my place. He now said that, Alaji, do you have this? Immediately I saw this picture on his phone. I said, wow, problem is coming. The man said, Alaji, God will bless you. I said, amen. God will bless you. I said, amen. He said, are you the one give this thing to my wife? I said, yes. He said, Alaji, he's just going to his Jeep and then he gave me 20,000 naira. From today, the man has been my friend. In fact, I'm moving out of this place to Bogadogo. Up to this morning, the man remained my friend. And then I settled that marriage. See, this very particular topic, it is very important. And then we should do everything.
Yakub, listen to me. Yakub, because the objective of this show is to help people. You want to learn and share information. So what have you given this woman that Nigeria can also learn from and go and get for their own marriage?
You can't say it on a breakfast show.
What is the thing?
Yakub, I understand. Don't mind them.
See, Morayo, I I would see this thing I'm saying, it is part of my business, and then I wouldn't like to mention it up here. I'm sorry, but I'm so sorry about it.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
We'll talk to you later, Yakub. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you guys.
Please call them personally after.
So just to say, I got a message from a man, from a guy that says that, you know, many have generalized views about men, and take it that all men won't take advice to help. We want help. We need help, but the approach matters.
Which approach? You should lie down, come
Thank
and
you.
tell us.
You cannot come with a
honestly,
man that you want
always
to help
about the
a
approach.
2-minute man in your marriage. All those slags that we like to throw around women.
No, you don't
I mean, the man that you want to help, you will tell him that
They want help.
wait now, my husband, or how would we say it to African women? Olowo Orimi. This thing that we are doing, we need solution. You cannot come and say,
Not
see, worry say that wetin man get, you no go borrow your neighbor own take satisfy woman. Now wetin you get, you go take satisfy am. Woman must be able to express what she wants. You don't go borrow neighbor own. So you can't come, the approach will now be rude and pompous and, you know, demeaning of the man.
It's not that type of approach we're talking about.
It's not general. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with that.
Some people are rude.
That don't generalize. No, some men actually want help, right? No problem. I'll accept that from this man. However, let's not also assume that once you think that you find a soft spot, that all men react to that stuff. No, they don't all.
Yeah, not all.
In sexual conversation, you know some women do comparison a lot.
See,
so now that
Immaculate Boy says, hold on, Immaculate Boy says, Nigerian men have suffered on your view table since 1900. When will Mo Akabash bring entertainment director as entertainment director, bring your view men edition?
They actually have. It's called Black
Immaculate Boy needs
It's called Black Table. 11 p.m. every Friday night. That's tomorrow night. Watch it. It's a fantastic show, and I think you should.
So since YK started taking messages, let's just continue the trend. Babalola Samuel says, I understand your concerns, but it's important to remember that everyone's experiences and perspectives are different. Some people may choose to engage in premarital sex due to personal beliefs, cultural practices or individual desires. It's essential to have an open and honest talk about it. Okoyemi says, I'm a Christian. I don't really support premarital sex, but what happens to a guy that eventually knows that his wife doesn't have any vagina after marriage? I have seen a Yoruba lady that doesn't have. She even planned to take her own life because of this. So this is a gestational problem that is rare. It's rare and has surgical
I have to wrap up
solution.
on this topic. Let me just take this last call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I have advice to contribute. My advice is, men. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Kingsley. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have advice to contribute.
Go ahead.
And my contribution, one of my contribution is, men should exercise. Most men are so lazy that they don't exercise anymore. And women have expectations.
Exercise.
Hello?
Yes.
The TV is delayed, so you're talking to us. We're fine. We can hear you.
Men should exercise. My contribution is men should exercise. Women have expectations. And when you as a man don't meet the women's expectations, it's a problem.
What if women don't meet men's expectation?
That one is, they have been solving the problem for years.
Thank you very much, Kingsley. Let's give comments on social media.
You did there for
what comments on social media, and then we'll come
Okay, yes. This one I want to take it. Sir Chuckwusworth says, the narrative of test before enter is ridiculous because even data doesn't support it. Premarital sex before marriage leads to higher rate of divorce. Quite the opposite. Every excuse to argue in premarital favor are flimsy and even have solutions if you are being serious and were willing to tackle the problem. Last, people know that they know the truth but just want to hold on to something to justify themselves.
Hafsa says no premarital, but end up with extramarital. Yes, no premarital, but then they end up with extramarital. Premarital means a no, but inside marriage, couples should do all it takes to satisfy each other sexually. Don't be selfish.
Shamsi's mom says, I feel women should open up to men their sexual needs, even if the man's ego doesn't want to hear it. Society is really making women not get that satisfaction in marriage. Shut your ears to society, dear women.
That's it.
I like Kamsi's mom. Let me finish this one. She also said, men also need to understand that as they evolve, women also evolve. Childbirth changes women. A man might marry a naive woman who at first didn't like sex. Fast forward to 5 years later, after having 2 kids, she's always wanting sex, except on her period and life. And I want to close on this. It's a continuous conversation. It's a lifelong one.
Lifelong one.
Because it's totally based on our hormonal changes, our body changes, and you can't exhaust it at premarital stage. It's something that as you choose one partner, you stick to him for life, you continue to converse and grow on that area. There's no, if you like, don't laugh good.
You know, Modupe Osifeso says, your topic is premarital sex. You have moved to marriage. You need to thrash the first topic. This will prevent problems in marriage.
Okay.
Yes, so I wanted to say that nobody expects that you finish all the experiments at the premarital level, right? It's just that a lot of people have found that they made mistakes by not trying at all. And so for them, if they have to do it again, they will not do the same thing. Other people do not have those experiences, so they are willing to keep themselves till they get there. So it's just for you to understand what works for you, and nobody should be judged otherwise. Because sometimes what we think is, you know, if you do not have it outside, your marriage would definitely last for 70 years. It may not be so. There are people,
and if you have it,
no, and if you do, your marriage may last for 70 years. There are no rules to it. So you must find what works for you, and do not take anybody's judgment on what works for you personally. Find what works for you and own what works for you. The advice is why we usually prevent young people from getting into extra premarital sex is because sometimes there's a thin line between where to stop and where to continue. Some people, when we're growing up, we're taught that there are certain ways you can find out certain things without going down. We had that conversation, and some people would do some smooshing, some touching, but they won't get there. No, listen, they won't get there. They just want to find out some things. Some people have that knowledge. Other people don't have that knowledge. Let's also not forget that there are some people that are raped in the scheme of things. As young people, they don't even get to where they want to make a decision on what they want to do with their body. It's taken from them by force. And then they move into the society trying to navigate and find themselves. We can't just judge everybody by, you decided to go through. Some people,
let me take a few more comments. We're going to wrap it up very soon.
We're all different, so
Mr.
do whatever works for you.
Bigger Drink says that the issue against premarital sex is an injunction ordained by God. No matter the degree of modernity, God's word must be obeyed always. We must strive to be godly and obey God always. Prospective lover boys or girls can go for medical tests to ascertain their compatibility. Let us endeavor to encourage lovebirds to abstain.
I totally agree with the no judging. I totally am for that, no judging. But I can guarantee you, premarital sex and all of that cannot confirm or negate anything that you're going to deal with.
And it does not guarantee that you're going to have a better sex life.
In marriage, your eyes go clear.
Prof has come on our table.
So it's better to twice.
He was talking about fertility. Prof was, no, and I'm telling you, it doesn't still guarantee. Shebi the person that said they should bring shine for him, if they bring, Shebi was doing bastards. Sorry, wrong word. What
you insist.
We've sat on this table, done DNA topics on first children. That this kind of, so there's nothing. See, what I believe is be sincere. Sincerity guarantees you everything. It ensures you're right. If God says stay away if you want to do it for God.
Yes.
If you don't want to do it for God, be clear what you are doing it for.
Exactly.
When you enter, your sincerity and honesty will carry you far. I didn't even know that I would be sexually okay in marriage. I just wanted to marry under God's terms. God added that one, Ajara. I thank God. Thank you. No.
Let me take out. God will always use it as Jara.
What if
the Jara didn't come? Let me tell you why.
Why would you?
Because a lot of women go into that same marriage because they are pious. They didn't care about it. I remember, I use myself as an example. I will never forget this pastor's wife back in the US then when she was counseling us. And the statement she made stuck like glue because I was young. And she said, this thing, guys, it's too overrated, Jared. There's no big deal. Even if I don't know the last time that pastor even touched me. So please don't let anybody put in your head. There's no big deal. After a few that you get. So for me as a young woman, it was never important. And I entered it like, listen, with the mentality, I am just a child of God. And so there are some people that they enter it.
Yeah.
And you
tell you
will
a
still not have that reward.
Let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret.
Right.
All my friends were dating and having sex. And one of the reasons I accepted to marry the year I married was that I had sexual urges. I said to my dad, I want to marry this man.
No.
I had sexual urges.
Really?
And it must be within the confines of
Can
God.
you?
God added the jara. Morai, if God did not put that jara, I would probably if I didn't know what the standards were, I probably would still be married because I didn't know. Now that I am where I am, if I was marrying as a divorcee, I would divorce a man who doesn't sexually satisfy me because I cannot commit that sin within any marriage.
Okay, so now
I go leave the marriage.
some people say it's better. Some people say it's better to date. It's better to date 5 different people and marry one. And some people say it's better to live with
Dates
my...
different from premarital sex.
Not be when they date
that they will have the premarital sex.
It's when you're dating, you knack now. You want to be knacking people on this...
Breakfast show.
NBC will sorry, breakfast show. Now you, they confuse me. Leave me alone. Let me stay my point. So they say it's better to have 5 dates, 5 different people decide and then pick. That it's better for their sanity than for them to get into the marriage relationship and realize they can't work and divorce. People have different things
They have different things, yeah.
Nothing guarantees
Right, nothing guarantees anything, but we work with what you know.
Changes will happen to your body.
But I think that we also need to emphasize that there are consequences to premarital sex.
Huge ones.
List them for us, please.
No, don't list them. Just leave it. Let them say.
There are consequences.
So there are consequences. So
yes,
you talked about the Gen Z. You want to listen to them. Well, whatever they want to do, okay, go ahead and do it. But there are consequences.
Okay.
We've known or we've heard of young people that got pregnant at 16. And they couldn't do abortion. So are you ready for such consequences? Even if you want us to deviate from the godly bit. Okay, churchy, all right. There are a lot of consequences. There are STDs, there are a couple and a couple of other things that, will come up. So whilst we talk about the premarital sex, and people say they want to do it, they insist that they want to do it, I think we should also then talk about the consequences so that before you go into it, you know what you're
Somebody has solved the accused mystery. Somebody has solved it. So the general says, in my own case, it is my wife that is asexual, and I will even get her gorantula, yet I have to be extra mile. I have to go the extra mile, get angry, and beg her to use it. Wow. Gorantula is one herb. Muslims use it a lot. Muslim women use it a lot. It's for sexual... to help
you guys are really taking care of
we cover the book well.
We need to speak offline.
This time we break it down for you. Who's in the other room? Let me take John. Thanks for calling. You're live. Hello, John. Oh, I think I lost that call. Somebody, Mr. Tijani, sent a solution.
Okay.
Let me speak it slowly. Right. So that the men, one of the solutions to help guys, cucumber, smoothly blended with lemon, works more than Viagra. Thus, increase the nitric acid
is that what you have been giving
that
us?
enhances blood flow. That's what
it gives us
everybody knows.
Enhances blood flow to manhood area. Frequent take of pomegranate fruit is also very good for guys. Mike, what are you giving Oga?
So loud it's cucumber and lemon. Okay.
I don't have to give him anything.
Hey, he's on point.
He's on point.
Aww, Mike, it's up. No, you're smiling.
See like your national TV admitting to
Mike is blushing already. She's remembering the situations.
The different episodes.
The pictures are just flowing in her hand.
The different episodes.
And she's... We're supposed to go to a different topic.
Yes.
Let's wrap up. Let's go. Any comments? Okay, I think we don't have any more comments.
Yeah.
Let me go on a break.
Comments. We have plenty comments.
And give me about 2 more.
So the general continues. Said changes happen to bodies. An active guy before marriage can become a non-active. Hence, we should focus on communication in dating and a healthy relationship and respect. Cap. Yeah. Finish my talk.
Let me finish. Let me wrap it up.
And Andrew says, what do you think of Nima? I bet she's having a fantastic time with her hobby. She looks contented.
Oh, sure.
Very, very.
Okay, let me wrap it up. So first, in premarital, I think I agree with Madoja here, where there are consequences. People must be responsible. I also agree with BC that says that everybody should go with their intuition. You're an adult, people make their own choices and mistakes. However, whatever the consequence is, be willing and be ready to accept it. Right. Now, inside, what we have agreed is that communication is crucial. Some of you might want to communicate. You might have to change your method of communication because some of you think, oh, find the soft spot. Some people might not work for them. Find that one that works for you so that both of you can communicate and enjoy it, because this shouldn't be an issue to stop a match. And as a Muslim woman, if you feel that the person is not getting to that
Talk
level.
to him. If
Talk
you
to
know,
him, and if you cannot get any, I think you have a pass to excuse yourself. That is all we can take on this segment. We'll come back, we'll try to take one more topic before we rush off. Stay with us.
We have time for another topic.
We have time.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.